But before we welcome in our guest for the day, let's see how the markets are doing currently in terms of the benchmark and the broader market. Pressure persists across sectors and across indices is what we are looking at. Nifty 50 seeing cuts of over 0.2%, while if you look at Nifty Bank also not doing so well right now in trade, about 0.5% of a downtick there as well. In terms of sectoral picture also, if you are looking at a sea of red is what we are looking at, barring some of these indices. Nifty FMCG up over 0.7%, while metals and infra is doing relatively better, about flattish moves over there. But realty down about 2% in trade today. In fact, we are seeing pressure building from Nifty Media and Nifty Auto as well. Now, in terms of the broader markets, though, mid cap 150 and small cap 250, if you are looking at that as well, nothing much to talk about. We are seeing cuts of over 0.5%, even underperforming benchmark indices as well. Even small cap 250.2% of a downtick is what we are looking at. But let's talk about office-based solutions with a guest joining us today, and that's Tapan, Doshi, research analyst of Tapan joining us. Hi Tapan, welcome to the show. Let me start off this conversation. You heard the management. It's a pretty strong picture that the management was giving in terms of how the outlook is going to shape up for the business while there are structural tailwinds in place. Want to understand from you, are there any concerns that we should anticipate for this particular stock?
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, and thank you for calling. See, overall, if you see, fundamentally, the stock looks quite strong, and the demand and all that. Again, as you discussed with the management earlier, that H1B visa will have a positive impact to this company. Now, see, they are going to expand on the tier 2 presence against occupancy is much better. If you see, the last quarterly result was quite good, almost 3.5x jump on the profitability. And again, the EBITDA margin, the main thing is EBITDA margin has gone to almost 37.8%, which is quite a good jump from 30% earlier. Seat capacity is almost 40% jump year-over-year, and co-working segment also almost 9% jump on jump. So that all these things favors the company. Of course, there are some profitability in that. No, if you see the depreciation cost is going sharply, but you know that because they are in office, so that will happen. And finance cost is one of the worry which they have to struggle. But I think looking at the prospects, and again, as you can see, the occupancy slowly and gradually is going to go up from 80 to 90% and tier to present. I think this stock is in a much better shape. The problem lies here is with the valuation. If you see it's almost trading at 84 PE, and it's a rich valuation. So because the prospects are good, that's why it is trading at such a rich valuation. So if anyone wants to enter, I think better will be they can enter a little bit out, and in SIP manner, once it goes down, they can buy for it. Still currently I feel that it is at a higher level.
Just the approach that we are seeing for office-based solutions right now with the valuations in picture. But let's talk about another counter which is in focus today, and Bajaj Electricals is the stock that we're talking about. And this is after the company has approved acquisition of Morphy Richards brand rights. Mahima joined us with more details on this one.
Right, so Anushi, as you rightly mentioned, the stock is buzzing because it is set to acquire the rights for Morphy Richards going forward for countries that includes Nepal, Bhutan, India, Bangladesh, Maldives as well as Sri Lanka. They're set to acquire this from Glen Electric. In terms of the IP acquiring, this will happen during this year, and overall they have been, of course, Bajaj Electrical has been an exclusive licensee of Morphy Richards already, but now from here on they'll also acquire IP rights. In terms of just a brief about what Morphy Richards is, it's an 8-year-old company that has presence over in 26 countries and is into products that includes kitchen appliances, garment care and floor care products as well. So this is the overall view of what's happening with Bajaj Electricals.
Thanks for that, Mahima. Tapan, coming to you, what is your view on the stock?
The Bajaj Electricals has not performed in last, you can say 4 to 5 quarters, and overall, yes, this news is coming positive, and now management is focusing much more on premium and non-seasonal growth. Okay, and the cost optimization they are working on it because the margin got hit last time. If you see the last quarterly result was not good as such. Of course, the main thing was that core customer products was down 10%, and there was an exceptional expense. That was a big hit. But I think from here onwards, because of course this news plus the Diwali season and the GST rate cut and all this may boost somewhat, the consumption, and that is where they may get benefit. But and here I am little bit cautiously optimistic comparatively. Of course, lighting and B2C lighting and all that will do well. But still, I think Bajaj Electrical has to perform accordingly. I think the stock has gone up, but there are much more better counters in this same segment. One can look at it at this level. I think no one can wait and see the next quarter result. Then they can start buying it. Still, I feel that there are much more consumer durable, better stocks like there you can see like Polycab and other stock which we can think about buying from here.
Okay, thanks for that view. For Tapan, coming to you, just want to understand your picture in terms of how are you viewing this demerger as, and what's your view on this counter?
See, the demerger was completely, in order to unlock the value. And if you see, they are expanding on non-steel and allied verticals. And if you see overall the margin expansion, they want to increase it because, beyond steel, there is always a problem with the steel. There is margin compression. Now they are working on it. Of course, they are going to grow their footprint on tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And of course, EBITDA margin and all that is stable. But I think this, whatever the demerger has happened, I think that will create a value unlocking as such. And EBITDA margin will also grow. And the management is quite positive. And actually, no, of course, the investor has to see from here how the two companies will perform. But at this level, I think one should hold this company. I think it looks like a potential good return from here as the value unlocking happens.
Okay, so hold is the current view for Shankara Building Products. So, Tapan, coming to you on this now, FY25, you did see a dip in terms of how the revenue was for the company. Now for FY26, while the outlook is positive, margins mainly remaining stable as the previous years. Just want to get your reasoning in terms of, the uptick that we've been seeing in terms of this stock performance. What is your view regarding this company?
See, if you talk about Wheels India, currently I think that much more favorable things are towards that thing, because if you see the automobile industry has performed well now, that will help this company, and of course their automotive segment is growing a good way. And if you see the EBITDA also slowly and gradually getting positive on both the verticals, order book is quite healthy. Now they are going to focus on export and premium mix. Of course, they are going to increase the capacity in wind and hydraulic segment, which is good thing because I think there the margin may increase. So debt to equity is around 0.84, which is quite stable. And I think overall, I feel that from here onwards, the outlook remains good because the demand will be good for the next 2 quarters at least. So I think at this level, one can hold this stock. Of course, I am not saying it will going to outperform, but I think it's a decent return you can accept from Wheel India from here also.
दोस्तों, हमारा नेक्स्ट सेशन अटेंड कीजिए जहां हम लोग बताएंगे किस तरह से अच्छा पोर्टफोलियो बना सकते हैं आप इक्विटी, म्यूचुअल फंड, बॉन्ड्स, ईटीएफ, आईपीओ में। तो एक डाइवर्सिफाइड पोर्टफोलियो जो आपको फाइनेंशियल गोल अचीव करने के लिए मदद करे। तो लिंक मैंने कमेंट बॉक्स में दिए, जरूर अटेंड कीजिएगा। और आप चाहते हो कि आपका पोर्टफोलियो अच्छा बने तो आप हमारे वेबसाइट को भी अटेंड कीजिए www.catapan.in, जहां हमने इक्विटी, बॉन्ड्स, म्यूचुअल फंड, ईटीएफ, आईपीओ के बारे में किस तरह से हम लोग बाय और सेल रिकमेंडेशन देते हैं along with the research reports, वीकली सेशन और काफी सारे रिसर्च ऑन डेली और वीकली बेसिस आपको मिलते हैं। तो www.catapan.in भी जरूर अटेंड कीजिएगा।